and welcome to the Not Your Type podcast, aimed to uplift and empower everyone in the diabetic community, from supporters to professionals, and of course, those living with it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Not Your Type. I'm your host, Alyssa Gothi, and I am so excited to officially kick off season 3 of our show. Last time we talked, I gave you a quick snapshot into where my life is at and all of the things that have transpired the past couple of months, but it has been quite the busy 3 weeks since then. And I want to first start by keeping you all updated with my life and the things that I've been up to. So first, I attended Friends for Life Orlando about 2 weeks ago, and oh my goodness, was it moving. It's not very often that you see those spaces that were specifically made for people with diabetes or those affected by it. So to be in a place that really celebrated us and allowed us to connect was really empowering for me. I grew up as the only person in my graduating class to be diabetic and had so many people misunderstand what I was going through. So to meet so many people that resonated with exactly what I live with, while also connecting with so many insightful organizations and seeing all these presentations, really left me feeling like not only a better person, but a better advocate going into what is this crazy year as Miss Iowa. I'm excited to have on some guests that I met through Friends for Life very soon, so stay tuned for that. But I've also had an absolute blast traveling my state and really my region as Miss Iowa 2023, especially while advocating for Type 1. So make sure to follow my socials at Miss America IA. I'll put it in the show description so you can stay up to date with all things Type 1 diabetes advocacy and Miss America. All right, all that being said, with so many new ears and listeners, I really wanted to kick off this season by first just sharing my gratitude, extending a huge thank you to everyone listening. When I was first diagnosed, I kind of thought that the life as I'd known it was over and that I no longer could achieve success or accomplish anything like this. So thank you so much for listening, for being a part of this community and supporting me, especially as we go into this amazing year with even more people to build a community with. Now, that's just a quick update. But to get into today's topic, yesterday was actually International Self-Care Day when I'm recording this, and I want to talk about something that I've had to really live out this past month, and that's managing stress with diabetes. Spoiler alert, the job of Miss Iowa is not always glamorous, and as a teacher during the school year, especially my first year teaching, I experienced plenty of stressful situations with the workload and just the amount of daily behaviors I had to experience and deal with in the classroom. I've been learning as I go in both of those experiences, but I want to bring this topic to light as I find that it's often overlooked. So let's get into it. To preface, I am not a medical professional. I'm just a diabetic girl who's done some online research, reached out to people, and has lived through this experience. This is inspired by my own curiosity, so I want to start by explaining why stress is often correlated to diabetes and what happens in the body when we experience high stress. When we experience moments of stress, our body is put into fight or flight mode, which is when your energy is shifted to fighting a life-threatening source or fleeing from an enemy. If you've ever taken a psychology class, you've probably learned about this phenomenon. This response triggers our adrenal glands to release adrenaline, epinephrine, and cortisol. The latter is an important hormone when we consider diabetes. When increased cortisol is released, it raises your energy levels by releasing some of the stored glucose and fatty acids that are in your liver. This increase is to provide the energy necessary to deal with some of those prolonged or difficult challenges. That extra release of glucose or sugar raises blood sugars because it also inhibits your insulin production, which diabetics don't have anyway. That's why continuous stress is actually linked to the development of type 2 diabetes. It's one of the factors that could contribute to other precursors or other factors going into it. But stress also greatly affects type 1 diabetics like myself as well. Not to mention that regular high stress can cause significant rift in your mental health, which also makes caring for diabetes or a chronic illness all the more difficult. We have an entire episode that is dedicated to mental health and diabetes that you can check out for more support. I would highly recommend listening to it, especially if you are going through prolonged moments of stress and are needing that extra support. I know that for me, my blood sugar when I'm stressed is so stubborn and does not want to come down in those moments, which makes competitions hard, whether it's a pageant or a sporting event. It can be really difficult. I am currently in a sometimes stressful position where every day looks a little bit different, and I have the weight of representing an entire organization on my shoulders with lots of events and sometimes a lot of busy work and communication. We all experience stress at some point in our lives. There's no avoiding it, whether it's big or small. So that's why I want to focus on not just what it is, but how we can handle it and live with it as we face it head on. A few of the tips that I'll be sharing are ones that I have found through the support of others or in forums online, and a few of these are ones that I've found that just work best for me. So remember to always reach out to your support system, especially in times of critical need. Again, I am not a professional on this, but I wanted to provide that support through this space as we are a community of people who are trying to work through our hard times while also uplifting each other. Specifically related to stress and diabetes, one of the things you can do is to ask your endocrinologist what they would recommend for when you are stressed. Should you take a certain correction dose when you're in a moment of high stress? Should you wait longer after bolusing to eat your meal? I usually wait about 10 to 15 minutes to eat after I take my insulin, but should I wait longer? Get those expert opinions and really listen to the professionals who are there to take care of you. Also, keep an eye on your blood sugars more frequently. When I was competing for Miss Iowa, I was checking my continuous glucose monitor as often as I could backstage to make sure I not only went low when I was on stage competing, but that I wasn't too high for too long. So check those CGMs or glucometers often to see the trends that it's going and to make sure it's in range as often as possible. And the last one I'll say is to drink a lot of water. This can help lower your blood sugars, but it's also important to stay hydrated because for me, I know sometimes I forget to drink my water when I'm really stressed and I'm on the move. So making that a priority is really important for your overall health. If you are listening and you are not diabetic, welcome. We're so happy to have all supporters in this community. Here are some tips on how you can manage your general stress unrelated to diabetes. Number one, let yourself relax. Something I've been practicing lately is scheduling concrete time for myself to do the activities that I enjoy or to spend time with loved ones. Making this a priority where you carve out time intentionally is so important, and you should make it just as part of your schedule and routine as work meetings or other activities that are important to be working on. Number two is to move and be active. There are plenty of scientific benefits found in exercising that also aid in mental health, but this could also be a good release of stress for you. I know it is for me. When I'm really stressed, sometimes I like to go to the gym and just lift weights and run. Other times I like to veg out on the couch. Knowing what your body needs and listening to your body is really important, and it's going to be different for everyone. And third, give yourself grace. I know this was mentioned in our mental health episode. Again, check that out if you are wanting more support. But remember that you are just human. We are not designed to be perfect. I'm far from it. And stress comes and goes. It's a natural part of life, and it's normal for us to be experiencing this. So give yourself grace and understand that we all face stress, and we can always be better at working around it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this quick little episode. If you have any other tips or tricks to managing stress, especially with diabetes, feel free to message me, reach out to me in the socials linked in the description. And I'd love to hear any show ideas that anyone has as I get some more guests on and we kick off season 3. I'll see you next time.